We're joined by independent economist Chris Richardson. Chris, thanks for joining us again. This is going to be a bit of a horror story, isn't it, when we look at what the budget delivers and what the forecasts are for deficits and debt into the future?
Well, the way to cheer yourself up, Chris, is our debts and deficits are much smaller than you see in much of the world. The way to then get upset again is to remember that's mostly due to luck rather than good management over the last couple of decades. Australians have lived through, in many ways, in the last 2 decades, a wonderful time. We've slipstreamed the rise of China. We've been able to slipstream the earlier reform efforts of the Keatings and the Howards. And most recently, a whole lot of budgetary luck has landed in our lap. But no, we have not done good things with that luck. And our ongoing budget picture looks increasingly challenged.
Now, the thing is that we've loaded ourselves up with a lot of recurrent expenditure too, big programs that are going to keep costing a lot into the future. And you've got to be realistic. We know that governments are not very good at clawing that stuff back. So surely our path to future prosperity and budget health has to be growing the economy, that is, becoming more productive. Is there anything the government's doing that's helping in that regard?
Not particularly, nor the opposition in terms of promises. Both sides, when in government and in opposition, have largely matched each other's promises in election campaigns, again, for the better part of 2 decades. Nobody has been terribly challenging Australia around becoming more productive. Yes, our spending has lifted, and in the first year of this government, 2022-23, spending was 24.4% of the economy. It's looking like 27.2, so almost 3 percentage points higher in the coming year. Now, that is set to be the fastest and largest increase in the size of government in half a century in Australia. And the problem is, and it's an old mistake, and Howard and Costello made it too. You take temporary good news and you make permanent promises off the back of it.
Yeah, I want to focus a bit on electricity prices. You might have heard me at the start. I use this argument that it's like an internal tariff. It's an internal penalty we put on everything we export from this country by unnecessarily ramping up our electricity prices. But if we look to the budget, I expect we'll see Labor look to extend its energy rebates. Now, they go to everyone now to try and artificially keep power prices down. I think it's bad economics. I think it's politically driven and all the rest of it. But as I said to Zoe McKenzie, people on low and fixed incomes are really hit hard by power prices, and maybe they do need some help. Maybe there should be at least means-tested support. Maybe the coalition should look at haggling with Labor to perhaps curtail it, but means-tested.
Earlier in the term of the current government, that there was help around electricity prices that was essentially aimed at people who needed that help, people on benefits and the like. Now, as you say, everybody gets it. And that's much more about the politics than it is about the economics. The Reserve Bank, by the way, when it gave us an interest rate cut a handful of weeks ago, was still assuming that there would be no ongoing electricity rebates in the coming year. Anybody with a sort of a knowledge of the political pulse in Canberra knows that we are going to get a rollover of those subsidies. And here's the thing, we do need to make a transition around our energy in Australia, but it's not going to be fun and it's not going to be cheap. And that combination, how do we get reliable, how do we get cheap, and how do we get clean? Well, various things are hurting. At the moment, what's holding it together are the subsidies from taxpayers in general to electricity users.
Yeah, what a mess, and it's going to take a long time to sort out. Thanks for joining us, Chris. I appreciate it.